1 week after the political universe was turned upside down by a rejection of critical race theory, Democrats have never heard of critical race theory. There's no such thing as critical race theory. What's critical race theory? I know nothing about this critical race theory.
The real ominous thing is that critical race theory, which isn't real, turned the suburbs 15 points to the Trump insurrection-endorsed Republican.
Critical race theory is not taught K through 12. Let me say it. I can say it in Spanish, too, if you need to.
Critical race theory that is not taught in public schools in Virginia.
Your sixth grader's not being taught critical race theory. Your college student is not being taught critical race theory.
Okay, it's not critical race theory. We're not going to call it that. It's woke, race-baiting garbage that is pushed by people who subscribe to critical race theory. You see how they're getting around this? Oh, there's technically no class in critical race theory. Yes, we're pushing these crazy books, these crazy woke books, and the 1619 Project, which is critical race theory, that America is rotten to the core and that racism is our original sin and it pervades every institution that we have. But we don't call it critical race theory. It's pretty wild how they're trying to deny, but we know the truth. It's kind of amusing. They tried to call out Senator Scott from Florida on CNN. No critical race theory, none whatsoever. Watch what happened.
Parents know their kids are being indoctrinated with critical race theory in Virginia, and the Democrats wanted to deny it.
And so well, it's not in the curriculum.
Showed up because they don't like being lied to.
Just to be clear, it's not in the curriculum in Virginia. Just to be.
Brianna, would you like me to here? Let me just read you a few things. In 2015, while Terry McAuliffe was governor, the Virginia Department of Education promoted incorporating a critical race theory lens in education. You can still find it on the Department of Education's website, still there. In February 2019, a superintendent memo for the Virginia Department of Education promoted critical race theory and the idea of white fragility.
It's not
I
part
looked
of
at
the
it
curriculum.
yesterday.
I just want to be clear. Okay, Senator, I just have to be clear.
The Virginia Department of
It's
Education
not
promoted critical race theory, and Terry McAuliffe said they didn't. I hope Democrats keep doing that all across the country.
Fine. It's not part of the curriculum. I would like to move on with you.
I would like to move on because I'm losing and I don't know what I'm talking about. And the senator, who's also been a governor, must be wrong because somebody wrote it on my card. Critical race theory has pervaded public education, whether they like it or not, and we don't like it, and we're pushing back, and it's pretty awesome. By the way, one of the reasons why we push back against critical race theory, it is a great big waste of time. It's a silly conversation about race to avoid having an important conversation about race.
Please stop! Stop right now! Hands! Show me your hands! Stop it! Stop it!
Like 13-year-old kids running around Chicago at 3 in the morning and getting shot. The Toledo case, you may remember, and a horrible situation. Kid running around way after midnight. Another young girl, so many, one of hundreds. This is happening all the time. It breaks my heart. I'm sure it breaks your heart. And actually, the McDonald's CEO, McDonald's, home of the Big Mac, Chris Kempczynski, it breaks his heart. You know, McDonald's is actually headquartered in Chicago, so he has a relationship with the mayor of Chicago. And amid all of this violence committed often by children against children, he sent a message to the mayor. Tragic shootings in the last week. This is back in April, but it's still relevant. Both at our restaurant, McDonald's, yesterday, and with Adam Toledo. With both, the parents failed those kids, which I know is something you can't say, even harder to fix. Interesting. Now, she replies, everything's all well and good. Thank you for your kind words, offering support. This must have been traumatic because one of the shootings happened at their restaurant. But the text exchange somehow became public. And guess who's in the wrong here? The McDonald's boss. They're saying that they're saying that it's racist, that he's concerned about families.
CEO of McDonald's is under fire.
Comments made by company CEO Chris Kempczynski about the killings of Adam Toledo and Jaslyn Adams last spring.
He wrote with both. The parents failed those kids, which I know is something you can't say.
I know Adam Toledo's parents did not fail him. I know Jaslyn Adams' parents did not fail her.
And McDonald's, you are the victimized. We're not going to tolerate it anymore. You're not going to take it. This has to stop.
A public campaign. They bought commercials because he wrote a text message in private about his concern that maybe the parents had a role here. So what is he doing? He's apologizing all over the place inside McDonald's. I am learning from this. I believe that starts with more listening and learning from more people whose life experiences are different from my own. Those comments were wrong, and I'm sorry. It goes on. It's even more abject. I'm sorry I let you down. Are you kidding me? I let myself down. Oh, stop, please. I have, through my background, a very narrow worldview. My comments to Mayor Lightfoot revealed that ignorance. This is what you got to do now. When the mob comes after you, total capitulation and surrender. He said something in private that was true. What was that 13-year-old kid running around in the middle of the night for? 3 in the morning. You know, he says maybe the parents are to blame, and he's being canceled for it. Barack Obama was able to say that once in public, and he got elected president for it.
Too many fathers are MIA. Too many fathers are AWOL. You and I know this is true everywhere, but nowhere is it more true than in the African-American community. We know the statistics that children who grow up without a father are 5 times more likely to live in poverty and commit crime. They're 9 times more likely to drop out of school, 20 times more likely to end up in prison.
That's pretty compelling, right? Now, he was hit pretty hard from the left, so Barack Obama, for the large part, stopped talking about that because it was touchy even for him. And I guess he was right in that private text message, the CEO of McDonald's. What did he say again? When he talked about the families being responsible, which I know is something you can't say. Well, why not? Why not? It's the truth. It's the truth. But as a political and corporate reality, he's more right than wrong, and he's learning that the hard way. Mr. Kaminsky, is it, boss of McDonald's? I like what you said. You know what? You should own it. You should own it. Take back the apology and make this. Somebody's got to do it. Why not you? Why not me? Barack Obama's not up to it. And by the way, what is Barack Obama up to? And what is he up for? Going around the world, virtue signaling, and giving ridiculous speeches full of pablum, but you can tell. He went to Glasgow, Scotland, where the big environmental summit is. Listen, not so much to what he says, but the pauses in between the totally vacuous comments. I mean, talk about a guy who's totally in love with the sound of his own voice, and it's kind of gross.
The thing we have going for us is that humanity has done hard things before. I believe we can do hard things again. Yes, the process will be messy. I guarantee you, every victory will be incomplete. We will face more setbacks. Sometimes we will be forced to settle for imperfect compromises, because even if they don't achieve everything we want, at least they advance the cause. At least they move the ball down the field. But if we work hard enough for long enough, those partial victories add up.
Okay, number one, is he talking to 8th graders? We know what a compromise is. And what is up with those pauses? Now, in 52 seconds, he stood around for 24 seconds not saying anything. Imagine if people talk like that. As I wrap up this portion of the show, I think I'll get ready for the next portion of the show. The guy is totally full of himself, and it is kind of gross.